Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. This is the Business and the Sillyville edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to catch the show live and participate in all of the madness. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on in. The iPhone 13 had some weird snafus. iFixit confirmed that iPhone 13 display swaps render the Face ID unusable. So they basically serialized the screen. And if you put a different screen, which the screen, by the way, has nothing to do with Face ID, but if you simply replace the screen on an iPhone 13, Face ID will no longer work. The fix around for this was to take the sensor off of the old screen and affix it to the new screen, and now it will work perfectly fine. So people can still do it. Now, there was a lot of backlash about this. Louis Rossmann talked about this, among others, and so Apple backtracks on this and says, no, we're no longer going to break Face ID on repaired iPhone 13s. By the way, guys, that serialization is still in there. They'll probably just turn it back on about 6 months very quietly, and no one will notice until this large swath of iPhone screens breaks down the road in like 2.5 years. And they're like, well, it's an old phone. We've already been 2 more. Why don't you just go ahead and trade it in for a new one? Because people are like, new phone. Like a moth to the flame. New iPhone. So there is that. All right, so Apple says it will back off its plan to break Face ID on independently repaired phones. Company is often contentious relationship with the repair community was tested again when unauthorized iPhone 13 screen replacement started resulting in broken Face ID systems. A new report from The Verge says that Apple will release a software update that doesn't require you to transfer the microcontroller to keep Face ID working after screen swap. Well, there you have it, guys. So when people are whining and complaining about stuff like this, like we do, this is why. Enough people complain, they change their mind. All right, Microsoft is dropping support for OneDrive desktop on old Windows versions. So step number 1, get everybody using it, force it on everybody's computers, even back as far as 7 and 8. They can't do anything about it. And now, oh, you're not updating anymore? And we're going to pull the feature out from you. If you've been reliant on this crap, then you will have no choice but to upgrade to Windows 10 or higher. So this is going to happen on January 1. Microsoft announced it will stop pushing updates for OneDrive's desktop app on older Windows versions from January 1, 2022. While the app will remain usable for some time, users on Windows 7, 8, or 8.1 have until March 1st before their personal files stop syncing to the cloud. This is just their push to get people off of the older operating systems. I know 7 is out of support. You probably shouldn't be using that for production anyway. 8 and 8.1, I don't remember when those are actually out of support. So I'm not sure. Maybe it is 2022. I don't know. But anyway, that's what their next plan to force everybody. So if you're reliant on OneDrive, first and foremost, if you're reliant on OneDrive, get rid of that crap, install Nextcloud, and use that. But if you are, this is their way to push you to the next desktop. Well, Twitter is going to be letting you now pay to undo tweets and read ad-free in the news. The ads don't bother me in Twitter. I just block every company that pushes one to me. Not that I use Twitter a lot, but pretty much every single time I log in to post when a video is going live on Twitter, they show, and the reason I do it is because it's video ads. Okay, if it was just some static ad down there, I wouldn't care. But you log in and you get a video ad right on your screen. No, block that company. I can go back and look at my blacklist to see what companies tried to advertise me on Twitter. There's a thought. But now you can pay Twitter to undo tweets and to read ad-free in the news. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and in Australia, Canada, New Zealand as part of Twitter Blue. So those countries that have Twitter Blue, that will be rolled out to there. So this is just part of this plan to have Twitter be like, hey, let's try and find profitability because we're a bunch of garbage anyway. So now if you can make your mean tweet and then delete, I wonder what would happen if the former president happened to have this and it's like makes a mean tweet and then deletes it, makes a mean tweet and then deletes it, makes a mean tweet and then deletes it. I mean, I'd rather have mean tweets than killer gas prices, personally. I don't think I read any of the stupid mean tweets because I just don't sit on Twitter. That's a thought. It all riles you up. Get off of it. But anyway, you can now pay to undo your tweets and read ad-free. All right. Well, in our main business news, I never put on my bummer. I never put on my corporatocracy banner. My apologies, guys. MoviePass is coming back from the dead. MoviePass is coming back from the dead. All right. So MoviePass, of course, had this horrendous plan that had no chance under the sun to make any money at all, and that went into a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. That's like the death roll bankruptcy. Well, the original owner of it just bought it out of bankruptcy. So I think it was like 150. So the minimum to get it set out by the trustees was $250,000. I think he got it for like $150,000, and so he buys it out, and then now part of the deal, he does not get any of the old data as part of that deal. That's not something that he gets to use. So basically it's to start over from scratch. But that being said, he does now have, or will have soon, a form where you can go fill out online, give him your email address and information so that when they're up and running again, you can know. All right, guys, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Just let MoviePass go. All right, it was a bad idea then. I can't imagine it's going to become a bad idea in the near future. So with that, you can help support the channel with our affiliates. Today we are highlighting Mint Mobile, tlm.li/mm. Mint Mobile is a cell carrier that is based on T-Mobile towers, and it is so cheap because you buy it in several months at a time. So if you go with the minimum plan, which is 4 gigabytes of data, you buy it in 3 months of service, it's going to cost you your $15 a month, so $45. I buy it in like a year at a time, so it's like $160 for a whole year of a cell phone, which is way cheaper than I was paying on Verizon. They also have the unlimited plan, which I think is like 35 gigabytes of data, which is a lot of data to be using on a phone, but that's $30 a month, so you pay $90 for 3 months of service. So with that, you can use the affiliate code there, tlm.li/mm, sign up for Mint Mobile. Now, guys, let's head to Sillyville. Moving on to Sillyville, my apologies, the Sillyville articles this week just weren't all that good, but we'll do the best with what we got, and hopefully it'll be fun enough. NVIDIA has a new audio-to-face tech that uses AI to generate lip-synced facial animations. Now, this is really good for video game design. I mean, perfectly honest. You're doing a video game, you got guys talking in the video game, narrating the storyline, which I find is a bunch of useless crap. I mean, when I'm playing a video game, it means I want to relax. It doesn't mean I want to sit there and read a book and follow a whole storyline. If I want to follow a storyline, I'm going to watch a movie, okay? If I want to just beat guys up with some digital animated character, I'm going to play a video game. Bottom line, that's the way it goes. All right. But anyway, nevertheless, I do find it a little bit interesting that they have this new ability here to, you feed it lines and it will use the AI and voice the guy's mouth out there kind of, and then you of course put a skin on the dude's face, whatever else. This is a very sexist article though. All of the AI creatures here are guys. So, you know, we got to think about that. But yeah, it's a little silly. How long before they're feeding the AI scripts into the well done people, and we basically have fake news? Oh wait, never mind. They actually already do that in China. Interesting world we're getting into. Well, HP takes printer troubleshooting into mixed reality. So basically, when you purchase these big printer models, if you're using the Microsoft HoloLens, then you can get your direct support from the HP support line directly there. It is actually fairly ingenious how they're doing this, because you put it on, they're seeing what you're seeing, and they can point and highlight exactly what issues you might need to do. But it is a little bit silly in that, man, we're doing all these types of things, adding all this augmented reality. There is a movie, and I don't remember the name of it, and I haven't even seen it. A friend of mine had, where it is a dystopian world where everybody's walking around with augmented reality goggles on at all times, and one guy just takes them off one day, and he's like totally shocked by the real world around him. If you know what movie that is, let me know in the comments. I'd like to go watch it if I can. But this is it's an interesting use of technology, and it's really silly that you got to put on this lens to get help and support from the HT guy? What about them just coming to your office? Because I'd imagine that you'd probably rather, there's people that even if I had augmented reality, I still would not want them trying to fix their computer. Okay. I don't know. And our last Sillyville article, this guy was donated to science, and the doctors took his body and charged $500 for a live audience to dissect him. And the widow found out in the newspaper. So he's like, he dies of the coof. He's like, I don't know, 90s, I think. Dies of the coof. He's 98, dies of the coof. He's like, I want to donate my body to science. It's the ultimate, final, greatest thing I can do for society. He served in World War II. He protected the world. He raised a family. He stayed married all this time. He's donated to medical science so that they can use him to figure out new technology. The widow was horrified to learn that her late husband was actually dissected before a paying audience last month at a Marriott Hotel ballroom in Portland, Oregon. A touring group billed as the Oddities and Curiosities Expos charged up to $500 per ticket for the dissection, which was organized by another group called Death Science. Guys, this is why I'm not an organ donor on my driver's license, okay? The paramedic ain't looking to save me. He's looking to harvest some parts. So, he dies after battling the coof in a hospital. He lived in Baker with his wife after leaving the New Orleans and following Hurricane Katrina. She told the Advocate on Wednesday she tried to give his body to LSU, but the university refused the donation because of the coof. Really? We're all going to get the coof from the corpse. Just dip it in bleach. Come on. The potential dangers of dissecting someone publicly during a pandemic did nothing to stop the cohort of private companies from organizing an event where the cadaver was dismantled in a room full of ticket holders. And this all happens in Portland. Yeah, maybe we're finding out where Babylon really is here. I don't know. But I'm confused here. We have information from the Seattle area. King TV first reported on October 17th dissection, which VIP customers sat inches from the autopsy table while an autonomist, oh God, it's making him back to life. An autonomist spent hours carving into the corpse and removing various organs. She said she learned about the public dissection when the TV reporter called her Tuesday. She said she's been receiving calls from media and family constantly since the report aired. As far as I'm concerned, it's horrible, she says, unethical, and I just don't have the words to describe it. All I have is this paperwork that says his body would be used for science, nothing about the commercialization of his death. So there you have it, guys. Be careful about this. Science is a creepier thing than you think. It is more political than you think. It is, and it is way more commercial than you think. And this is why we have to be cautious even when we're looking at science. We have to have a little bit better understanding of how science works. And having worked in a cancer lab, I look at all this stuff going, I'm not actually surprised. I'm not surprised. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know. Well, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there to help support the channel, and I promise we will not dissect you for science. We'll see you guys later. Oh boy.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.